All right, so we are recording. And now
Okay.
you should be able to screen share.
Yep. Okay. All right. So, hello everybody. How's everybody? Good. I hope. Good. Okay. So we're going to talk tonight about time management. So I was just telling Lindsay, I could probably do like a series on this, in reality, just because there's so much to time management. There's so many different things I could go into, and there's lots of things that I actually thought about putting in here after I had the whole presentation done, like how to prioritize, how to do different things for your time management. And I'm not going to do that. So I want to, we just don't have hours. So bear with me. I'm going to go through this. I did create a little slideshow, so I'm going to flip over to that in just a second. Uh-oh, where'd it go? Okay. Okay, oops. Share, there. There, can you guys see that?
Yeah.
All right, now let me get you guys out of the way. Okay, so again, time management, right? The concepts, they don't really change. So it's applicable whether you're working this business by itself, working the business and have another job, or you're a stay-at-home mom that just wants to find time to do some of these things, or for your clients, right? So it's same concepts, really. So if you take these tips and stuff, you can teach them to your clients, because I think one of the biggest things I hear all the time personally is, well, I don't have time. So that's what we need to talk about, like how to fit these things in. So to start, we need to do a time audit. So why is this not turning? Hold on. Oh, okay, there. All right, so how are you spending your time? So the best way to do a time audit is to do it over a few days, but create a table. You can use a digital table, pen and paper, doesn't matter. But put 30-minute increments of time from the time you start, like waking up, to when you go to bed. And then track your activities, like I said, for a few days. But don't do it on a week like there's a holiday, or you're like traveling, or it's not your typical. So those things are few and far between usually, for most people. So try to avoid weeks like that. That's when you would do your time audit. So be honest, right? So you have to be honest with yourself, because really the only person that is losing here is yourself if you can't be honest with yourself about how you're spending your time. So if you're currently spending a lot of time scrolling social media, reading the news, and or binge watching Netflix, Hulu, whatever, be truthful about it. There's also ways of seeing exactly how much time you spend messing around on your phone. So you can Google how to do that. I'm not going to get into that, but there are apps, and some phones just have it on there naturally, like, so you can go in and find out where you're spending all of your time. So that's really important for you to know, so you can do your time audit efficiently. So reflect and review after you've done your time audit. Can you consolidate anything on your list? Are you spending too much time on non-productive items? Can you prepare yourself to handle some interruptions? Specifically, what can you do to help deal with the interruption and get back on task? So everyone is different, so every schedule will look different, but there's always ways to improve. And again, like, so what can you do to deal with your interruptions? Like, some people will let those interruptions like throw a wrench in their whole day. And I'll talk about that a little bit later, but you need to find a way to get back to your schedule. So the KISS concept, right? So it's really keep it simple, stupid, but I don't want to call anybody stupid, right? So I just made it keep it simple and slay. So I like that a lot better. Anyway, but keep your schedule simplified. Like, you can put everything in your schedule. You can schedule your bathroom breaks. You can schedule when you're going to pet your dog. You can schedule it all, but that's kind of crazy, right? Like, you're going to burn out on that pretty quick. And especially if you're trying to help any of your clients or anybody else figure out how to do their, make the most out of their day, you don't want to schedule absolutely everything because you're just going to burn out and be done with it. And then you're not going to want to try to do it again because it was a bad experience. So again, everyone's different. So your schedule just, it's going to be crazy for you to look at my schedule and think, okay, now what in the world? But again, so keeping that simple. You start with the things that you cannot move, change unless necessary, right? So that's where you're going to start plugging into your schedule when you start creating it. Your medical appointments, work, meetings, other people's weddings, whatever dates you're not really changing, can't change, shouldn't change, those types of things. Those need to go in first because that's what you have to do each day. The next thing is, what are the things that are important for you to get done in a day? So morning routine, like if you don't have one, you should have one. But if you don't, or your clients don't, create one. Your power hour for this business or whatever else you need to get in. Feeding the kids, right? That's an important thing. You should probably schedule that. Clean up the house, work out, personal development. So those are all the things that you want to try to get into your day. So you plug those in next. Sorry, I'm like using my paper here too, so I can't. Okay, so the next thing is add a take two section. So this is silly, and you probably, I don't know if you can see me or not, but like I do take two all the time. Like you're in a movie, so that's what I call your take two section. So create that, especially if you're new to creating your schedule. Plug in time for yourself to figure it out, or like to get something done that you have lost track on, or your kids interrupted you, or anything, neighbor came over, something like that. If your day was interrupted and you had to take the interruption for whatever reason, kids being the biggest reason, especially for me, I know that my son interrupts my day all the time. Create this time. You can go back and kind of pick up where you left off or finish something that you didn't. So if you're going to keep moving through your schedule through the day, if you have to cut one area short, if this section is actually like scheduled into your calendar, you can come back to that then, so you can stay on task the rest of your day and then pick up where you left off for that section that you had to step out on. So after that, after you've done your whole schedule and you're trying it out, try it out for a week, adjust and improve where you can, and give yourself grace. So here is, and I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see this. I don't know if you're on a phone or not, but I'm just going to kind of go through it. This is an example of one of my full days. So like 5 a.m. wake up, 5:30 energize and devotional, 6 workout, 6:30 recover and shower. Yes, I drink my recover in the shower. It's weird, I know. Get dressed, wake up my child, and then I make breakfast for us both. And then I have speech therapy for my son at 8:30. I try to do my power hours from 9 to 10, and then from 10 to 10:30, emails, returning calls. And then the next hour and a half, I had a meeting with one of my prisons, right? So I had that meeting for an hour and a half. I scheduled an hour for lunch. Zoom meeting with one of my locals was a half an hour long. I had negotiations prep. I scheduled an hour, or a half hour rather, for email and return calls, and then a break. So I just get up, walk around, clear my head, do whatever. There's my catch up hour. From 4 to 5, I try to like hit whatever I might have missed, what I need to like go back to do. From 5 to 6, I do dinner, we eat, and then I clean up and I do daily chores. And then we practice speech by playing game and occupational therapy and physical therapy. We play games and do a bunch of stuff like that for about a half hour, snack time, bath time, bedtime, and then read, relax, TV, whatever for, up until about 9:30. And that's about when I go to bed. So that's like one of my busy days. So one of the things you're not seeing in there is me taking time for myself, right? So with the exception of my little break, what you don't see scheduled are obviously my bathroom breaks, the snuggles and the plays, like play times with my little son and stuff like. So we do all of those things, and that's all scheduled in there because maybe one of my meetings ran short. So I already have it in there. I have extra time. I can just do whatever I need to do. So that's one of the things that you don't see. But I've been scheduling myself like this for a really long time, so I don't schedule all those things in. maybe you want to try to do that when you're, getting started. Maybe you want to just try to stick to one thing at a time when you create your schedule. But the most important thing is you need to make sure you're taking time for yourself, no matter what that looks like. And personal development's a great one. Obviously, any of the things that we do with this business, with working out, personal development, doing those things for you, super, super important. But you're also not going to have the same day twice typically. You might, if you have that kind of a setup, but you're not going to be meal planning every single day. You're not going to be meal prepping every single day. You're probably not going to scrub your toilet every single day. Those are the things that you need to kind of switch around in your schedule so you can get everything in there, but it's just going to look different each day. Sorry, I'm like a little parched. Okay, so again, a good rule of mind to keep in is a good rule to keep in mind is allowing yourself that space to clear your head. So when I'm talking about take time for you, it could be a couple different times a day. Take a step back, breathe. You need to do those things. Okay. So now I wasn't going to get into a bunch of this stuff with time management. Pareto principle, the 80-20 rule. This is really common in time management, but this principle, it was discovered by Vilfredo Pareto in the late 1800s. I think I don't know, it doesn't matter, late 1800s anyway. But it can be applied to pretty much everything in your life. It's mainly, I think, used in time management, but again, you can apply it to every aspect. So we're going to talk about the rule, and then we're going to try to figure out how it applies. So it's 20% effort produces 80% of your results. So 20% of the things that you're doing each day are going to produce the 80% of your results. And an easy way to look at that is take the shoes that you own. So this kind of seems silly, but it really does. I think it applies for me. It applies for my clothes. It applies for my shoes. It applies for the work that I do. So the shoes you own, the go-to section in this little pie chart here are your go-to shoes. That's probably about 20% of your shoes. The rest of your shoes are the 80%. So they're just all kind of sitting around, but that's how the principle kind of works. So 20%, you're going to do a lot of your stuff, and then the 80% is all the rest. So that's a really weird thing to think about, but like I said, it applies in all aspects of your life, the 80-20 rule, and it doesn't always have to be 80-20, but that's the concept. So if you're anything like me, like you do have those shoes that you go to all the time, and then whoops, sorry, I'm kind of off my groove tonight, ladies, sorry. Anyway, the other shoes in your closet are just going to hang out there, but they're just taking up space. So you don't want the 80% to be just all of you're trying to get it done. You want that 20% effort to get your 80% results. So it's a good visual, but like I said, there's literally tons of resources you can get on the Pareto principle. But that's just the smallest portion of your day will be the tasks that produce the income for yourself, which leads you to, are you busy or productive? Because most people spend much of their time being busy, not productive. It's easy to say that you do not have any time when you feel you literally have not sat down all day, and now what did you get done? So I posted this picture on Facebook. It was like a month ago. So I needed to do the laundry, but then I realized I was out of detergent. So I went to write a shopping list, and I realized how organized the junk drawer was and started checking pens for ink. When I went to toss all the junk, I saw that the trash was full, but before I took it out, I wanted to get rid of old fruit in the fridge. That's when I realized a juice jug had leaked, so I needed to clean it up. But when I went to grab a rag, I saw that the pantry closet was a nightmare, so I started organizing it, and that's how I ended up on the floor looking at my old photo albums from 1990s and not doing the laundry. So how many of you can see yourself like that. I know that can be me too. My time management skills can go right out the window. Our bathroom just crapped out on us. We had a bunch of leaks. So my time management for the past week has been crap because it's been all focused on that. Um, but like I said, it's a pretty relatable post, and that's because most people are busy, easily distracted. They feel overwhelmed, and at the end of the day, they feel like they ultimately failed getting the things that they wanted to get done. So how do we do it? How do we accomplish all the things? So stay focused and disciplined. It's important. It's critical to being productive. Remember, 20% of your effort produces 80% of your results. So staying disciplined with yourself will help you to get that little bit of work done and therefore give you more time to do what you want. Like for me, scrolling TikTok, because I used to not have a problem with that, and now I do. Your brain is a muscle, and working it out will help you stay on task and become more disciplined. So that power hour that turned into a power 2 hours will take less and less time as you practice getting through each item on your list. Just say no. So you gotta say no, just period. So one of my favorite phrases is, an emergency on your part does not necessarily constitute an emergency on my part. Don't answer your phone or respond to your emails right away. If it's a true emergency, sure, cancel the power hour, but rarely are things an actual emergency. So most of the time, we allow small interruptions to destroy our days. And if you have your day planned out, those interruptions really throw a wrench into things, like I said before. So instead, get back to people when you have time. And if they don't have time to answer, they're not going to, but it needs to be on your time. You need to value your time. You are in control of your own schedule. And if you use kids as an excuse, well, they thrive on schedules. So make one for them too. And I'm not saying that as soon as you create a schedule for yourself and your kiddos that everything is going to be like smooth sailing. It won't be. You will, however, start planting those seeds of production for yourself. And then hopefully your kids will be great managers of their own time when they start getting older too. So one last thing before I just randomly answer any questions that you guys might have. There's so many resources to help figure this all out. This really could be a really, really long series. Like we could do different team calls on this if anybody wants to. But I use the Power Hour template from Summer that either Christy or Lindsay posted a few weeks ago. That's really keeping me focused on my power hours. And then the business activity tracker I use, but I really like the way Summer like broke down that power hour. So that's really helpful. I use like a cleaning schedule from Time Warp Wife. I love her. If you are interested, she is I think it's just timewarpwife.com, but she has like a cleaning schedule. And this sounds crazy, but I get stressed out when my stuff is a mess. So that just kind of keeps me on task. So I use that to keep my house in order. I use a calendar that syncs with my phone and my computer to keep me on track. It helps me schedule like my husband's stuff, my stuff, the kids' stuff, and I have everything color coded. And then, in truth, like I said, I still get thrown off my groove. What I don't do is allow those hiccups to completely ruin everything that I'm trying to get done. Adapt and overcome. I think that's like a military phrase, but I don't know. I heard it a long time ago, and I've just kind of made it my motto. You've got this. You just got to keep telling yourself that I've got it. One other thing is to start your day with affirmations. So if I'm going to do my devotional and stuff, if I have like a little list of things that I tell myself. And Josh Coates has like some really great info on how to create affirmations for yourself that work. But there you go. And if you want me to help you clean up your schedule or work on your own time management, I'd be happy to schedule you in. So just shoot me a message and I would help. So that's that. Sorry, I got a little crazy with the Pareto principle. I'm reading off of papers and I'm not wearing my glasses and I'm like trying to go, what in God's name does that say? Because I just can't even read that. It's too small. So anyway, that's the gist of the stuff. The Pareto principle though, really quick though, to go back to it, it does really apply, like whether it's 80-20 or whether it's 60-40 or 99-1. There's always like the the bulk of the wealth in this country, for example, is with a small percentage of people. The bulk of the world's wealth is with a small percentage of people. Like, those are the things, like, they have the most of everything and it's a small percentage. So that's what you want to do with your time. You want to create a small portion of your day to create the biggest effect on your life, because I certainly don't want to spend all of my day doing nothing but work, 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 work. I've done it before. Quarantine has been a blessing to me because of the change in my life and my schedule. Um, but I know that's not the case for everybody else, but I think it's great for me, but it takes a while to get to a schedule that works for you and how to figure out how to adjust everything, fit it all in, but it can be done. And what usually you will find is that you have a heck of a lot more time than you ever thought you did before, because you're actually being mindful of your time, how you're using it, and like how to apply that schedule to everything in your life. It just works so much better. Like, I don't know. I'm a huge time management freak. I freaking love this stuff. So, like I said, if you need help or if you have extra questions, just pop that up. So, did not read the chat. So, oh, recover in the shower is genius. Yeah, I know. So that's, I do that just to save time. You know what else I do in the shower to save time when I do deep conditioning treatments on my hair? A scrub brush, Dawn dish soap, and wash my shower while I'm in there, because Dawn is like, it's safe to go down the drain. It degreases, cleans. My husband's a mechanic, so it's like, it's weird, but that's what I do. So it just saves me time. I don't know what you were talking about, Jen. I always do that because I couldn't see the chat when the
I
screens
think
were.
she's talking about recover in the shower too.
Oh, okay, nice. So yeah, Christy, it's easy to be super busy, and that's why I got really into this time management stuff. Like, where my normal non-quarantine COVID work week is Monday through Friday, but it's 60 to 80 hours Monday through Friday, where I'm literally just like running from one thing to another thing to another thing to another thing. So if you want to see my schedule on one of those days, it's like literally insane, but I still can fit it in. And that's why I don't ever buy when somebody says, well, I don't have time. I don't have time. I don't have time. Girl, listen. Like, you damn well know, you dang well know that you have more energy if you just get up and do the dang thing, right? So if you want to create more time for yourself, if you want to be more productive, do all of those things, create a schedule and stick to it. If you fail, get back on the horse tomorrow. Like, you just need to stick to your stuff. And then I plan days off too, where I don't schedule anything. And I'm just flowing with whatever comes my way. I go, and I'm very spontaneous with things too. But I don't know, the more you work with a schedule and the more you work in that, you figure out how you can adjust things, where you can move things, how you can change it all out so you can still be productive, and then do whatever you want, like take a trip to the lake or whatever. Yes, Christy, I will gladly come organize your life. I'll even fly out to Texas to do it. Okay. Okay, so that's it. Does anybody have any other questions? That you can even unmute yourself and just ask if you want. It's not going to bother me at all. Nope.
I was just thinking how mind-blowing that whole 80-20 thing is. Like, when you were talking about it, I started looking it up to see some other graphics showing it. And it makes so much sense because especially with the shoe thing, that analogy really resonated with me, because I have so many shoes and I probably I live in my Birkenstocks. So I don't even know why I have so many shoes. But it also made me think about the fact that we are telling people all the time, you don't have to go to the gym for 2 hours to get results. Our 30 minutes at home every day will get you those same results. But yet we always make this excuse, or at times we make this excuse well, I don't have time for a team call. I don't have time for a power hour. I don't have time for that. And I'm like, but wait, the power hour doesn't need to be a full hour. Get your stuff done in 30 minutes. Or you know, we're trying to show people like if you spend a lot of time doing something, it doesn't mean you're doing it better or you're going to get better results. You can narrow it down and get it done in this time frame. Showing up for a 30-minute team call one day a week is less than 20% of your week.
Yeah.
Way less, and would get you way more results than if you didn't show up. I mean,
well, and there's other like weird things that I do like in my like day. So one of the things that I do for my power hour, what I don't do during my actual power hour is follow, like create following and engagement stuff. I actually do that. I know TMI in the restroom. You're in the restroom how many times a day? And you always have the phone in your hand. So why don't you just do it then? Like you might as well just make the most of your time. Your phone's in your hand. Who doesn't go to the bathroom with their phone? No one, right? So do that then, because I can then take a little bit more time, because some things I take a little bit longer than I should still. But one of the things that I forgot to mention really quick is that your brain is a muscle too. So you have to work it out. Like you have got to do these things. And the more you practice being disciplined with your time management, the easier it becomes. And then it used to take me like, I don't know, an hour to write a post or to message somebody back or whatever, because I was too much in my own head. It just took me too long. But the more I did it, the more I practiced, the easier it all became. So that's, you just got to work your brain out too. You got to tell your brain that, like it's time to exercise, brain, like let's get to it. So
I definitely find that the busier I am, and by busy, I mean like the more stuff I have going on in my day, the more productive I am, because I feel the time crunch. So when I make a schedule, even though I may have like hours at home with no, like know where I need to be or something right now, I still, if I have a schedule, I still kind of feel the time crunch, and it makes me more productive in the time when I am focused.
Well, that's true. Like when you have a week to do a job, or you have 2 hours to do a job, it's going to take you a week to do the same job that it could take you 2 hours. It just depends on the time frame that you have. I'm the same way. If I have all day, it will take me all day. If I only have an hour, it'll take me an hour, and it'll be just as good.
yeah. I do. I actually, like I said, we could have talked about prioritizing. Mark Twain has a quote, and everybody uses it for eating the frog. If you do the hardest, worst thing in the morning, first thing. So I kind of do that. But if it's something that I have a month to plan for and it's due like today, like I will do it the day before. And I will not stress that whole time, because I know that it's scheduled. I have time scheduled to actually do it. And this is when I'm going to do it, like the day before, because that's just how I do it. Now, there's some things that I don't do that with, but I'm going to say 90% of my stuff goes right before I'm going to do it, because I'm really focused. I get hyper focused on it. I'm super productive, and it just flows better. Because if I try to do it a month out, then I'm just, sitting there going, oh, I've got a month, type 5 words. All right, that's good. And then you walk away.
Yes. I personally would love if you would do another call on prioritizing. And I mean, I know I would benefit from it. And I believe that the team would too. I believe there's a lot of people that this is their struggle, with business especially.
Okay.
A lot of us feel like if I'm prioritizing myself and my workouts, then I don't have time to prioritize my business, which isn't true. But I would personally love that.
Yeah, we can do that. No problem.
One thing I wanted to say before everybody gets off the call, because it's 9:30, is Team Cup is coming up. So be talking to people about joining your team and get yourselves registered. You're going to need a captain. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I'm not going to tell you what I'm talking about. I'm going to tell you to go into your coach office, and I'm going to tell you to click on the FAQ that pops up in your face when you go in the coach office, and check it out yourself. And if you have questions, come ask. I'm happy to answer. But I'm not going to give you all the deets because they're right there and I want you to know how to access them on your own. The other thing that pops up in your face right now is today is the last day to buy the discounted summit ticket. So the plan is for us to actually have a summit next summer, fingers crossed. So please, please, please go in and purchase your ticket. It's $135. It's a tax write-off. It is, if you are all in your head right now saying, I can't do that, there's no way I'll be able to go, blah, blah, blah. Girl, you have a year to figure it out. And I'm going to tell you that my first summit, I did the same thing. I earned a free ticket. And up until like a week before, I was like, I'm not going. There's no way I'm going to go. Like, I just know when the time comes, I'll back out. Because if you knew me 6 years ago, I didn't commit to anything. I had like commitment issues when it came to leaving my home, really. But totally different person then than I am now. And I'm going to tell you that it is life-changing. Cliche as it may sound, Summit is an experience. It's an opportunity. And even if you think of yourself as a hobby coach, it is life-changing. And it is definitely an opportunity for growth. It's an opportunity to build that brain muscle that Carissa talked about tonight, and to build so many other things, to actually deepen, like dig inside yourself and discover new things about yourself while you're there. It's really something everyone should experience at least once. So if you're on the fence about it, I'm going to encourage you to go ahead, make the purchase tonight, get the tax write-off, and you have a year to figure it out. We'll figure it out. Use this launch for the customer launch for MBF to earn the money to pay off the ticket. It's $135. Help 2 or 3 people on this customer launch, and there's your summit ticket. Thank you so much, Carissa. This was amazing. Truly, truly helpful. And I'll be looking forward to the other things you share. I love you guys. I'll see you throughout the week.